The second thing we have to do, we have to stop listening to our political leaders that tell us voter fraud is really not that big a deal. The reason they tell us that is that both Democrats and Republicans have successfully figured out how to game the system. They both know how to mine their own particular little voters in an illegal manner. In 2005, the New York Daily News reported that there were 46,000 people registered to vote in both New York City and Florida. Now that's just New York City. Let's take a look at all of the snowbirds that head south from the top tier states in the United States. One can only imagine that that number is somewhat larger than that. And you ask yourself, okay, so what is 46,000 people in a state the size of Florida? I ask you quickly just to go back with me to the year 2000, when then Governor George Bush ran for president against then Vice President Al Gore. If you remember election night, around 7:30 at night, it became relatively clear that whoever won Florida was going to be elected the next president of the United States. After all of the guys, doing this stuff, trying to decide if that was a hanging chad and who the person really meant to vote for, after all of that was finished, the Supreme Court ruled that George Bush had won the election, and he won by 537 votes. Now, do you suppose 46,000 people registered in New York City and in Florida might have had an impact on that? In February of last year, I'm watching television, and this lady stands up, and I think I was watching CNN. Yes, I did vote twice this year. I sent in my absentee ballot, but I wasn't sure that it got there in time to be counted, so I went to the ballot and voted at the ballot booth also. Now, I don't understand how anybody can be so stupid as to stand on national TV and say, yes, I committed a felony. It is a felony to vote twice in an election. This lady, just 3 weeks ago, is the first one I could find, by the way, that was known to have voted more than once that was prosecuted. She was found guilty on 9 counts of voting more than once in an election going back to 2000. And come to find out, since 1998, she actually was a precinct worker. So, yeah, I mean, does it matter? Yeah, it matters. We have got to fix that problem. And I believe the best first step is to come up with a national voter registration. We've got the computers, we have Social Security numbers, easy enough to do if indeed we have the will. And I'll argue with anybody that wants to debate afterwards how that will reduce or hurt a certain part of our population.